All right, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 29th of May, 2024. And Flyers Daily presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. We're ticking down to the end of May. I mentioned this with Bill on Monday's episode that saw the projected schedule for the Stanley Cup Final. And if it were to go 7 games, it could end as late as June 24th, which is frankly insane to me that this season for two teams can end that late. That is really not much of an offseason. Still too long of an offseason for my liking, but that's amazing as we're sitting in the middle of the conference finals right now, and they've been two just incredible series to watch so far between Dallas and Edmonton and between the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. What a series that has been. It's just been unbelievable. So we'll continue to watch those. We're going to continue our Flyers Exit Day interview series with the most important position. And I say that tongue-in-cheek, but not really, because it's goaltending. And when you look at the teams that are left in the playoffs, and you look at, you look in the Eastern Conference, and you look at Shesterkin for the Rangers, and you look at Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers. You look at Dallas and Jake Ottinger. And you look at Edmonton, you're going to go, Stuart Skinner has been really erratic in these playoffs and maybe cost him in that last game. And you go, well, is goaltending still the most important position in the game because it determines so much? And yeah, it still is because, you can get outshot by your opposition, by the opponent, 42 to 18, and you can win the game 2-1. But is the need there to have that, franchise goaltender? Because I got to tell you, there's less and less franchise goaltenders in the NHL in today's game than I think there's been in a very long time. And we're talking about a league now that's 32 teams, not 21, not some other number. And there's less franchise goaltenders. It's astounding. Flyers came into last year with a really good situation at goaltending with Carter Hart and Sam Ersson coming in after having, gotten some playing time the year prior, showing some gumption, showing the ability to play at the NHL level. He played 12 games in the NHL in the 22-23 season. The numbers weren't great. He had a .307 goals against average, an .899 save percentage, 1 shutout. Again, in 12 appearances, 10 of them were starts. He had a record of 6-3. So pretty good numbers, decent numbers. Came in this year as the obvious backup to Carter Hart and played really well throughout the first half of the season in tandem with Carter Hart. Now, you take the first 3 games, his first 3 appearances out because they were not good for Sam Ersson. He played in the Dallas game that they lost in overtime, and he gave up 5 goals on 25 shots, so 20 saves in that game. The Anaheim game that the Flyers lost 7-4, he gave up 7 goals in that game on 25 shots, and then he gave up 2 goals on 9 shots in the Buffalo game. So after that, Ersson went on a run. And in the next 17 games, he found his game, he found his footing, he found how to be ready to play when not playing every game. And in those 17 games, he had a record of 12-3-2. He allowed just 31 goals over those 17 games, and he had a .930 save percentage and 3 shutouts. And I remember at that time, people were saying, trade Carter Hart for a haul. Sam Ersson's the number 1. Well, then Hart left. His last appearance in Philadelphia was against Colorado on the 20th. And Sam Ersson inherited the number 1 job. And look, the numbers over the next bunch of games for Sam Ersson weren't nearly what they were the prior 17 games. In 31 games, he had a record of 11-14-4 and an .876 save percentage, 1 shutout, which came late in the year. You're going to hear him talk about that. 1-0 shutout over the New Jersey Devils. But all of a sudden, a big strength of the team was not a strength anymore. And it wasn't just that Sam Ersson wasn't playing as well as he had played. It's the tandem. You've got to have 2 guys. Throughout that period, we saw Felix Sandstrom for a few games. We saw Cal Peterson for a bit. We obviously saw Ersson and Fedotov appear in 3 games at the end of the year. One of the big question marks going into next year will be that tandem of goaltending. What will Sam Ersson, what does he take away from the 51 games that he played last season? What does he take about that into his summer to come back ready to handle that kind of workload again and handle a little bit more successfully in total? So those are things that young players are going to learn. They're going to get that experience, and they're going to learn that. Sam Ersson just finished his 24-year-old season. So he's a guy that he'll turn 25 very early into next season on October 20th. And he's a real chill guy. As from what we've gotten to know about Sam Ersson so far, he's a real chill guy playing a real important position. That's a good combination to have that low heart rate. Your heart rate doesn't get elevated. Take things as they come. Take things as they happen in front of you. Make the proper reads. Don't get too up. Don't get too down. A goaltender's mindset has to remain very even keeled. You have to have that ability to have that selective amnesia, forgetting when you let in a bad goal to move on to not have it happen again. So Sam Ersson's going to take all of those things and the grind of a long season, and he's going to come in more prepared for that next year. So let's get to our conversation with Flyers goaltender, his exit day interview with Sam Ersson. It is Flyers Daily, and Flyers Exit Day continues, and we're with Flyers goaltender Sam Ersson. Sam, how are you?
Doing okay, a little bit tough coming off it to end like this, but yeah, it's doing all right.
I said this on the podcast the day after the last game. I was extremely proud of how you battled back at the end of this year, those final 3 games. That's not hard to do as a goalie sometimes when things go sideways for you, to be able to battle back like that with what was on the line for you guys. What were you able to draw on to make that happen?
I think just trying to try to take off a little pressure from myself. You want that like to have success, to play well so much, and I think I try to do maybe a little bit less instead of trying to do more, and I think that gave me a little bit of a better result.
Sometimes get out of your own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Simplify things. Did you change anything about your routine?
Not really. Like I think I just try to emphasize even more like the time away from the rink, just trying to take my mind off things completely, and I think that's usually when you feel the best, and you really can take advantage of the time off to kind of mentally rest. It's, as you know, it's most of it is mental. It's not as much as you're physically tired. It's more maybe a little mentally fatigue that creeps in. So you gotta really take care of that and take advantage of all the time you got.
Yeah, it's put the phone down, really reset and recover properly. If I'd have told you 10 days ago that you'd win a 1-0 game against the Devils on that Saturday night, probably in the middle of when things are sideways for you guys as a team, you go, there's no way.
Yeah.
But what happened in that Ranger game to give you some footing?
I think, yeah.
Guys in front of you, the structure was a lot better.
Yeah. Obviously, the guys played great and made my job a lot easier. And I think just sometimes you just need to get like that one, like you get things rolling a little bit in the right direction. And I think that's kind of what happened. And then just got back a little bit more to my game and my confidence. So I think that's what happened after that.
I knew it was not fake confidence when in the Washington game they get the shorthanded breakaway, and the amount of ice that you took. I know. Okay, he is very confident. Yeah. When you come out, show the chest and make yourself big, and like to flow back with that play, either on a penalty shot, shootout attempt, or a breakaway like that. I can tell that you're confident, and you could see that in your game. How important is it for you to end this season on that note?
It does definitely feel better, kind of ending in a better way, and can kind of walk out of it a little bit more with your head up high, and because we did a lot of good things this year. And,
really did.
And I think it would have been easy for that tough stretch to kind of almost erase those good feelings for you. But I think when we play better there at the end, I think we leave with a little bit of a better feeling, and I think we can look back and hopefully, obviously, learn from the things we need to get better at, but also we have to see the good things we did as well.
Yeah, not limping out, I think. Had you limped out, I think the team would have said maybe we weren't that good.
Yeah,
and you'd have tamped down those great wins over Winnipeg or Dallas or Colorado on the road. Look at all those things. You played 51 games. What'd you learn about your game this season?
I think I learned a lot. Like it's just how a full year in the league feels on you, and just you hear a lot about the grind of a NHL regular season, but it's definitely after like the second half when I started to play a lot, and we had in March when we played basically every other day.
15 games in 30 days.
Yeah, so you don't have a lot of time to kind of reset in between games, and I feel I learned about that, just the process you have to kind of handle the ebbs and flows of games and stretches when the games are so tight in between each other. Like,
yeah, the way I've always explained it is it's like being in the ocean and one wave crashes on you after another. You never can get your breath.
Yeah,
you don't have that time in between sets of waves to go, okay, let's just kind of hang out, reset, and then the next set will come in. And I imagine that's great, especially that time of year.
Yeah.
What do you want to work on this summer? Based on your experiences this season, what are elements of your game that you want to take to the next level?
I think there's something that I feel is the key for my game to take the next step, and it's just to push my consistency over a year and over a season, to kind of hold as a high as a low level as I can, so the lows never get that low, and you try to push the peaks higher.
Bring the basement up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think you do that with how you deal with your everyday process, like how you go about your daily business. And I think that's something I talked with Dilly has really pushed on, like the importance of taking advantage of practices, and even if it's a morning skate, you try to get a little bit better every day, and try to work on your game in any way you can.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Will you lean on any countrymen this summer, former NHL goalies?
I've
advice
been
on
working with there's like the town I live in Sweden over the summer has a lot of like good NHL both players, but especially goalies. So it's Jacob Markstrom is there, Jonas Johansson in Tampa is there, Felix is there, and Anders Lindbäck is also there. He used to play.
Yeah, Lindbäck.
Yeah.
Monster.
Exactly.
Huge guy, right?
Yeah, big guy. And we've been working out together, and same goalie coach. So it's been that's definitely very useful. Like working with Jonas and Markstrom is something that it's been very, beneficial for me, and it's always nice to be like a group of goalies. You can kind of get to pick each other's brains and just talk the goalie language a little bit is nice.
Yeah, I hear you there. Sam, 51 games this year. Thanks for doing this. Enjoy the off season. Can't wait for next year already.
Thank you very much.
Dynamic of a goaltender and the guy that he's in tandem with, his backup or the other goaltender, is always a fascinating dynamic because you have the human nature element of the goaltender fighting for the crease, and there's only one goaltender gets to play in a game. You know, wanting to be a good team guy and see your partner have success, but you knowing if they do have success, you have a less of a chance of getting the crease back unless you're having success. So you have to take all of that element and control what you can control, and that's where goaltending is really unique in the way you drive competition. Talking to Danny Briere this year, he loves to drive competition within the team for ice time, for role, for just to be in the lineup. That's good to have that guys pushing other guys to be better and to drive competition. When it comes to driving competition for the goaltender, it's to an even higher degree. Because again, even if, you know, a third line player is being driven to by a fourth line player for that, all that, they're still playing in the games. A backup goaltender in a game just sits there in his gear and is not playing. Those two can drive each other to very high heights. I thought the tandem of Hart and Ersson really drove each other to be better. And we'll see how that dynamic takes place next year with Sam Ersson and Ersson Fedotov. Wonder if the communication barrier is part of how that will manifest itself, either good or bad. I don't know, but it's one thing that I do know. We will be keeping a very keen eye on next year. We always keep a keen eye here on Flyers Daily on goaltending, and we give it the respect it deserves. And to me, it's the position is the most important position in sports, more so than the quarterback, because of the way a goaltender can control a game when his team is not playing well. Doesn't have to be reliant on the other members of the team in an individual game. Now, eventually, bad team play will drag down good goaltending. Bad goaltending will drag down good team play. That's how important the position is. But we will be on that case next year very keenly and daily. And it'll be a big question mark and something we'll talk about throughout this summer as well. Thanks to Sam Ersson for taking the time to join us on this episode of Flyers Daily. All right, coming up on Friday's episode, the guy who got a contract in season. Actually, I believe he was injured at the time. But a guy, it's a big part of the future around the Philadelphia Flyers, and that's Owen Tippett. He'll be our guest coming up on Friday. Like Sam Ersson, real chill, laid-back guy. Owen Tippett's a little bit of the same off the ice. The one thing I'd like to see Tippett do a little bit more of on the ice, and we'll talk about this in Friday's episode, is be a little more nastier on the ice. Have a little more edge to his game. He's a big power forward that can skate, got a tremendous strength. We started seeing little elements of that chippiness at the end of the season. I'd like to see a little more of that from Owen Tippett. I'm not asking him to be a person that he's not, or I want him to be who he is as a player and a person. I'd just like to see maybe a little more of that integrated in, because I think that can have a positive impact on him, his game, and his teammates' game as well. So Owen Tippett will be our guest coming up on Friday's episode. So join us then on a brand new episode of Flyers Daily.